February 5, 2021. It's not too late to open a solo 401k or a cash balance pension for 2020. The SECURE Act. This is the 39.6 Facebook and YouTube live finance show, the show that teaches high earners like yourselves how to make your money work for you so you don't have to work for your money. We talk general investing, taxes, real estate, syndications, Airbnb, paying for college, paying for childcare, and even the car you drive. Today's episode will be a 5-minute Friday. Do a quick one. This one actually got past me. I didn't even realize it until about, a month ago. You actually can open up a 401k or a cash balance plan for 2020, even though it is now already 2021. So a lot of times I see posts like in January, somebody gets a 1099 for some side gig work they did, or they picked up some weekend or call shifts and they got paid to 1099. And then they go to do their taxes and they have like a W-2 and they have a 1099. And they say, hey, what can I do with my 1099 money to save more money in tax? Well, ideally, you put that money into a individual 401k for most high earners, because by putting it into an individual 401k, that does not interfere with any backdoor Roth contributions if you're doing that. Okay. And this amount that you can put in, assuming you've already filled up the $19,500 that you can put in as an employee, and you do that at your primary W-2 job, you can put money into the individual 401k as an employer contribution. The catch is, before this past year, for 2019 and before, you had to get that plan established and open by December 31st of the year. You have to have it open. It doesn't need to be funded by the employer, but it needs to be open. The documents have to be completed. You need to have like the EIN and the documents to at least have the plan. And if you are doing employee deferrals, that would have to be in by the end of the year. But the employer part, you would have until the tax filing deadline to do the employer portion, but the documents had to be done. So if you didn't know you were getting a 1099, then it would be hard to retroactively open that plan. So the workaround would be to open up a SEP IRA, which is really easy to do. IRA accounts are very easy. I opened one at Fidelity one day, went over there, got the piece of paper because it had to be done on paper, filled it out. And then within like a day or so, it was open, and I gave them a check and they funded it. And then it's in a SEP IRA. And so that amount you can put into a SEP IRA is the same amount that you can put in as an employer contribution into a 401k. That's assuming you've already put the $19,500 an employee deferral at your other job. So a SEP IRA and a 401k, it made no difference in the contribution amount. The problem is a SEP IRA inhibits backdoor Roth contributions. So then you'd have to get that money out of the IRA by the end of the year in order to still do a backdoor Roth for that year. So what you could do is take your SEP IRA and roll it to a 401k, or you could just do a Roth conversion of that money, because depending how much it is, it might not be that much tax, and you take care of it. And then you can do backdoor Roths. But that was if you had your plan documents in place, you could get the 401k off the front end and not have to worry about a SEP IRA. Now you don't even need to do this. You don't need to deal with a workaround. Oh, sorry. And if you did that workaround for the SEP IRA in that first year, then the following year establish a solo 401k and now do solo 401k contributions. Anyway, because of the SECURE Act, and I've seen so many people mention the CARES Act, I haven't actually found any documentation that says it's actually the CARES Act that did this. This website from Employee Fiduciary, I don't have any conflict of interest or any association with them, affiliation. But they have here the deadlines for 401k adoption, including SECURE Act changes. And if you are doing, if you're an S Corp or a partnership or a C Corp or a sole proprietor, the filing deadlines are March 15 or April 15. March 15 for S Corp and partnership, April 15 for C Corp or sole prop. But there's extensions of 6 months on each of these. So you could do all the way up until this 6 months later to open up and fund the employer side of a traditional 401k plan. This does not work for a safe harbor 401k. If you want to do a safe harbor 401k, you had to have had that open by October 2020 because people need to be able to fund it. But if it's just like a 1099 income and you're doing an individual 401k, super easy. Okay, and that's based on this. It's established December 2019, before the CARES Act, which happened just like a few months later. So it kind of all blurs together. But this was the act that changed a lot of the retirement plans. It was called the Setting Every Community Up for Retirement Enhancement. This is the one that got rid of the stretch IRA. Okay, alongside this, cash balance pensions also have an extension. So if you're a sole proprietor, 1099, or you're doing this as a side gig, you can actually still open up a cash balance pension, individual 401k for yourself for 2020 up until the tax filing deadline with extensions. So you could do this by October. Granted, that's like, you'd have to have it documents done and funded, everything, but you have a ton of time to do this. So that's based on what I found. I didn't actually find the true IRS primary source documents, but hunting around the web, and this stuff is actually, it's not well discussed, publicized. I really had difficulty finding information on this, and I had only heard about it through the grapevine from other people mentioning it in Facebook communities. So the old rules are changed, and it seems like based on the SECURE Act, this is like here to stay. So that's pretty good news. It makes it a lot easier for people to do their tax planning after the fact instead of necessarily prospectively, which is the way ideally should be. All right, that's it. 5 Minute Friday. Also, again, running late. So again, not formal financial advice, simply entertainment for myself and hopefully for you guys. Please consult with your CPAs, accountants, other financial professionals before making any of your own decisions. This could all really be wrong. If it is wrong, please let me know. If it is really the CARES Act, please send me the source that tells me that it really is the CARES Act, because I could not find it. Have a good night. Until episode 163 tomorrow.